How's it going, everybody? Ryebread here today, and we are back with our Toronto Maple Leafs franchise mode. And yes, you guys did vote for a trade. I did post this a little bit late, so I'm sorry about that, guys. It took me a little while. I forgot about it, and then I posted it, and not a lot of people voted, as you can tell by the amount of votes that are on it right now. But yes, we do need to make a trade, and I don't know what we need to trade for. Some of you, I saw a comment to trade for Besser, and I saw a comment to trade for Deneau. First of all, Besser would be way too much value for us to go ahead and get. That would be very, very difficult. Trust me, I've looked into it. And I believe one was for Deneau, but I don't think our problem is forwards. I think our problem is defensively. We'd have zero depth defensively. And I'm going to go ahead and try and acquire a guy from New Jersey here, Will Butcher. He's listed as a top 4 defenseman. He's medium top 4 potential. We're giving up a second this year, a third next year, and a goal-attending prospect, just because we want to get some value there. And trade rejected quite far off as far as trade value. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and keep searching for teams that have some defensemen that I think we can go ahead and trade for. Now, Demers was an option last time. They want to give up Boychuk, but 5 years at that salary, no thank you. I mean, I would do Hickey. Tomas Hickey there, listed as a top 4 defenseman. How is he simulating? Ew, he's at -10 this year. Ew. How does he play over here? 20 giveaways. He blocks. He hits. He takes the puck away. A pretty good takeaway to giveaway ratio there. We don't need to pay nearly as much for that. Probably. Well, you know what? It might take a second from this year to get this to actually go through. So we'll go ahead and throw on a second from this year, ours, because the Sharks have lesser value. Actually, you know what? We might be able to get the Sharks to go here because ours has more value right now. And propose the trade. Trade accepted, and we got some help for the back end. Tomas Hickey there is trading for a quality player. That is really gonna help us here, boys. So thank you guys for voting. I appreciate your comments. I will put it now. I think YouTube's got a way for you to vote, so that you guys that are watching on your mobile devices, you guys can go ahead and vote as well. But now, is he scratched here in the NHL? And yes, he is. There we go. So let's go ahead. Defense. There we go. It's kind of nice to see a guy like, you know what? I'm going to take Hainsey out. Hainsey's not been too bad. How many games has Hainsey even played this season? He's got 13 games. He's even. He's only played 13, whereas a guy like Matt Marinson here has played 27. So, yeah, Marinson, you're getting the boot, bro. And we're going to go ahead and put Tomas Hickey in there as well. And I think he might be actually able to play a little bit. He's a pretty good two-way forward, and now he wants to meet with me. What does he want to talk about? I'll make sure this trade looks good for you, demanding, and no impact. So as long as it doesn't have a negative impact, and there we go, a lot better looking here. Top 4, we got top 4 everywhere, and then our top 6s are actually top 6s. So I will go ahead and throw him in here instead of Connor Carrick, because I believe Hickey would probably have better offensive stats than Carrick. And on the penalty kill here, instead of Carrick, we will go ahead and put Tomas Hickey. And I think we should be good. 4-man power play. Connor Carrick's not as good. And, you can't ignore some of these lines. Changing current line, blah, 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 blah. Power play, penalty kill, 3-man PK. I'll throw him in there, and we'll see how we start simulating now with a pretty decent defensive core. And it was kind of nice to have those 2 second-round picks. I do appreciate Toronto having those picks. It's pretty nice to see. All right, we'll split them up here on the 3-on-3, 4-on-4, whatever. All right, he's not going to be in the shootout or an extra attacker, and I think that's what I'm going to... Leo Komarov here is listed as a third-line scorer. You know what? I'm going to put Leo with... there we go. And we're going to leave Hyman down there with Moore and Reichel. Komarov, Bozak, and Brown now, and we'll see how things turn out. Matt Martin, Polak, and Marinson all are scratched, but that's fine. That's no big deal. And we'll go ahead and resume the simulation. Hopefully we can turn our season around, because so far it's not been the kind of season I was hoping to have, although we are 1 win out of a playoff spot. I'll give us that, but it's been a little bit disappointing, especially with Connor McDavid. Austin Matthews absolutely destroying it right now for us. So let's go ahead, simulate through the month of December, because I have a good feeling about this month now that we've got Hickey. We lose 6-1. Yeah, it's great. And Liljegren has been injured with an injured groin, and hopefully he'll be able to come back. William Nylander has now got back spasms. I have to go ahead and reset the lines here, boys. Just give me 1 second. All right, so the lines are all set. We're ready to go, so let's see if we can pick it back up here in the month of December. A 2-0 loss. I'm glad I didn't go after anybody huge. There we go, a 3-1 win, because I was going to say, I don't want to trade away that first-round pick, because who knows, if that first-round pick does turn into something something good, a top 3 pick, then a King's second for Leo Komarov, and our 4th? I don't know if I'm ready to go ahead and do this trade. Leo Komarov, again, could be a rental player for somebody else if we're not in a position. Looks like we can get a second back for him, so that is nice. But a 4-2 win there. Nylander is back and ready to play in the team's next game. I will go ahead, fix that, and so is Liljegren, so I will fix that down there in the AHL. But I'll be right back, boys. So here we are. We are good to go in the AHL. I just have to flip this really quick, and we'll be all set. So Pilata out, Liljegren in, because he's now healthy again, and I don't think he's grown at all. I can't remember. He's a 66 now, though. That's all I know. And we'll go ahead and keep the simulation rolling as we have back-to-back wins, and I just fixed that, so I don't need that notification. And a three straight wins. There we go. So the chemistry's getting back up there. A 6-1 win. 4 straight wins, but then stopped short by the Detroit Red Wings. 5-2 win there. A 7-1 win. And now in the month of December, it is turning back our way. Frederic Gauthier has got injured with a concussion. I'll just hit coach replaces player. Why not? And then for the New York Rangers, we lose in a shootout, but that's still a point. So 3 games consecutive with a point now, guys. And a shootout loss to the Coyotes. I really don't want to be losing to teams like the Coyotes. And now James Van Riemsdyk is injured. I don't know what's going on with all these injuries, but I have to go fix this again. Let's hope we can get through the month of December just fine. So we now officially have a first line of Marner, Matthews, and Nylander, like many people would expect. Except Marner's still listed as a second line forward. Nylander's up to an 85, is now listed as, or he's been listed as a first line forward. But it's nice to see him growing. And Austin Matthews, it's just absolutely killing it. He is a stud, a beast for us right now, and a 3-1 win there, and a 5-2 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. But we really turned the season around, 20-18-2, after going from sub 500 to above 500. We're not quite in a playoff spot because in the Metro, they have 45 and 46, but we are close, and we're playing a lot better than we were. Austin Matthews has 50 points in 40 games, and so far this team is balancing out pretty nicely, so hopefully we can go ahead and keep this momentum rolling. I will just keep the simulation rolling. I'm done talking, fixing injuries, all that good crap, and we'll get up to February 1st here, and yeah, I think this team, I think we can go for it. I think I want to sit tight, though. I don't know if I want to make too many changes as far as trading away draft picks. James Van Riemsdyk is healthy again, so I can throw him back in the lineup, and we can go ahead and hopefully get back to our winning ways. And there we go, boys. I've decided to leave Marner up on that top line. He's still listed as a second line forward, but he's absolutely dominating right now as far as points are concerned. And we are good to go. Now, we beat Vancouver, so that's back-to-back wins again. We are really turning on the heat here in the middle part of the season, and that is great to see. 1 month here in the queue. Now versus Columbus, who's a good team, we get absolutely bodied, but we bounce right back with a good Atlantic Division win. A 5-3 win there against, oh my God, when we lose this in the month of January, we are losing bad. Frederic Gauthier is available to play in the next team's game. Whatever. Oh, a 4-3 loss there. And a 4-3 loss there, and a 3-2 win, and a 3-1 loss. Come on, boys. Pick it up. 1-0 win. There we go. Versus the Islanders here. Looks like we've got a trade coming. Whoa, 4-5 Greening and a 7th for a 3rd. No thanks. I'm giving up too many picks just to get a higher pick. I'll move up if there's somebody I really want to get. And we are 26-23-3. I don't know where we are in the standings. William Nylander is apparently not having a good time there, but we are 1 point behind the Buffalo Sabres for that wild card spot, and 3 points for another wild card spot, and 1 point actually behind the Florida Panthers for a divisional spot. So it is possible we can get it done. Let's keep it rolling here. I'll go right up to the trade deadline, the Friday before the trade deadline, just in case you guys have any trades you want to suggest here. A 2-0 win. I really don't want to give up the first round pick, though. That is my one thing I'm going to veto, boys. I do not want to have a trade that includes the first. So if you guys, when I show you guys the players on the trade block, if you guys think there's a play I can go after that'll only take a couple picks or some prospects or something that'll really boost this team. Shen for Fair. I mean, wait a second. Shen. So a 4th, 7th, and Fair, who I believe is playing in the AHL anyway. For Luke Shen, a 78 overall defenseman. He's a defensive defenseman. He's not terrible. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to this, but I don't like all that I have to give up. It's not great. So we'll just keep it going. We get a 6th out of it. I'm going to ignore that trade, but it's there, like I said. Again, we can always trade away Komarov for a 2nd straight up. there's an option. Trade if you guys don't think we're going to make it. But so far, we're playing well this month, and we lose back-to-back games. As I say that, Lucas Spiza, he's listed as a top 6 defenseman. A third fair in the 7th for Spiza. Spiza's an 80. That could be one we go after. I don't know how he's playing this year, but I'm not going to make any trades without you guys signing off on them just yet. Tampa Bay, we lose 4-1. Can we not turn this into a losing streak, boys? We get a 1-0 shootout win. Hell yeah, I'll take that. All right, Pittsburgh now. Can we beat the Penguins? We lose 5-1 to the Penguins. We beat the Red Wings 3-0. Florida Island. Come on, please beat the Islanders. That would really help us right now. The Islanders are a bad team. Let's go get these points. Marleau in a 5th for a 2nd. Decline that. And a 4-1 win. Okay, so we're 32-28-3, which is not bad. Not bad at all. Is it good enough for the playoffs? No. We're in 7th place. And we're 2 points out of 3rd place. I don't know, guys. We're right in the thick of things. It's a very, very tight Eastern Conference. Everyone is pretty much even as far as, points-wise in the playoffs. Do we need to go out and acquire somebody? I mean, Matthews has slowed down on his point production quite a bit, so maybe we throw Marner back down on the second line unless he's grown. I don't know. Let's go ahead and check out the point totals for the players so then we can go ahead, see what we might need to trade for, what we need to acquire. I do really like the Hickey trade, though, at this point. Marner's our second best point getter. William, I think maybe Nylander down to the second line. He's really cooled off. He's not doing as well. Move Jiver back up to the first line there with Marner and Matthews. Then Marleau, Kadri, Nylander would not be a bad second line at all. Morgan Rielly and Jake Gardiner both have 36 points, which I think is great. This pairing is getting the job done nicely for us. I really love to see when defensemen get us points. Morgan Rielly plus 8, Jake Gardiner plus 14, Bozak, Komarov, Brown. That line seems to be a big fat minus. Dominic Moore on the 4th line with Hyman and Matt Martin, not doing too poorly. Zaitsev, Tomas Hickey is a minus 12, so there's something about that bottom 6 and the second and third pairings of defensemen that is not. It's not really killing it right now for us. Hainsey's in there. He's even, though. I believe I left him in there. And as far as goaltending, it's been up and down for these guys. Frederick Anderson's not having a bad season. I would like to see a little bit better, but I can't ask too much out of him, especially when the team in front of him is not that great, especially as far as depth. Defensive depth is really what we need. And then Calvin Pickard, that's an awful season for him, but that's all right as long as the team in front of him can keep producing. I think I do want to move, before I forget, I do want to move Marner down, but let's go ahead and check out the entire team. And yeah, we are in 7th place, boys. We are in second last in the division. But if you'll notice, we're 2 points out of a divisional spot. Now, I know they have games in hand, but we are 2 points out of divisional spot, and we hold the tiebreaker with almost every team except for the Panthers and Senators, I think that is. As far as goals for per game, how do we do there? We're 3rd best in the conference. As far as goals against, we let up the most goals against per game. Power play percentage, yeah, it's not tremendous, but it's not terrible. And our penalty kill could be improved. So maybe we'd make a trade for somebody on the bottom 6 there. So maybe an aging vet there, a center. Like, I know you guys did say Danault, so I can still swing that trade. I don't think he's going to cost us too much anyway. But we'll go ahead here, hit trade players. I'll show you guys who's still on the trade block as the trade deadline approaches. And I definitely think this is a team that can make the playoffs in year number 1. We have waited long enough, as you guys said in the poll. So, but it's adaptable season. We don't know how the season's actually going to go when we make those polls. So Goligoski, Connaughton. You know what? Let me sort by. So Goligoski, but yeah, his contract is not fantastic. So it looks like they either took Demers off or traded him. All right, nobody from the Bruins, nobody from the Sabres. The Calgary Flames, Backlund, Yager. I mean, Jaromir Yager would be a fantastic acquisition to this team. He would certainly help the team out. He's ecstatic right now. I'd love to see Yager in a Leafs jersey. I mean, it would just be fantastic. He was. I don't think he's cost us all that much. Maybe a guy like Christopher Stieg is the better option here. He does seem to be slowing down. Not too great. I was thinking about an 80 overall veteran, but, we'll keep looking. Polka, no thanks. These are future guys. David Perron. Wait, Perron got traded to the Avs? Seriously? All right, well, he's another guy we could go after. Colburn, Teuton, Cowan, yeah, no, I'm not really looking into any of those guys. Like I'm saying, I think forwards now, or unless there's a stud defenseman out here that we just can't pass up on. With the contract situation and everything, Green is not terrible. I mean, Helm could be a guy. No, excuse me. He's got 4 years left on that contract. Ugh. I can't believe Kyler Yamamoto's on the block. Anyway, we'll keep looking. Nope, nobody there. Not in LA. Not in Minnesota. And, okay, nope. Yeah, nobody in Montreal. Nashville doesn't even want to give anybody up. More Stafford. I mean, Stafford, maybe. Stafford's on a cheap contract. Are you kidding me? Stafford's on that is such low trade value for Drew Stafford. He's got 18 points. He's a minus. How's he doing as far as defensively? He's not terrible. He's throwing his body around quite a bit. A good takeaway numbers, so glad to see him. He simulates a little bit well. Maybe just needs some help. Andrew Ladd. Oh, somebody's pissed off. Clutterbuck here. 5 years left. No, I don't want that contract. These contracts, guys. Some of these contracts are bad. Wait. I just completely overlooked this because of his trade. They actually put John Tavares on the block. They do actually want to trade him away. Maybe they just don't think he's going to come back, although they are pretty poor. They are a terrible, terrible team. That's right. I remember looking at their record. Bailey's a guy we could go after, even Chimera, but guys like Josh Bailey, who's a good two-way forward. He's 28. We can re-sign him in the offseason if we want him. He is a minus, but that team is bad. The Rangers don't have anybody to give away. Bobby Ryan, not with that contract. Zach Smith, no. Weidman, MacArthur, Oduya, I mean, I guess Weidman, he's 80 overall. He's listed as a top 6 offensive defenseman. He's simulating pretty well on a bad team. Takeaways, giveaways, he blocks a lot of shots, which is nice to see. He hasn't really put in a lot of hits, but the Philadelphia Flyers here, Valtteri Filppula, he doesn't have, I mean, his contract is large, but he's only here for 1 year. He's pretty good. He's a second-line center. He could certainly fill in down on the bottom 6, or maybe even if someone gets hurt again. He's playing average. He's only playing, he's actually playing 17 minutes on the ice per night. That's a lot of time for somebody like that. But he is listed as a second-line forward, so we'll keep looking. Nobody from the Blues. Nobody there. Sedin. I mean, I could go for Daniel Sedin. 1 year, $7 million. Wait, did they? They didn't trade away Henrik Sedin. No, they traded Henrik and left Daniel by himself. Oh man, Daniel Sedin is playing fantastic. So again, another guy that I think could easily step in there and play well for us. Vegas wants to give away the real deal James Neal. Now there's a bigger name we could go after. I mean, Garrison, Iginla, probably not anybody else down there. No, not goalies. Vegas, Washington, Winnipeg, and that's about all she wrote for players. So I think, where were we looking here? Was it Calgary? A guy like Jaromir Jagr. See, let me put him on there and see what his trade value would be compared to somebody we'd have to give up. They literally want nobody from our team. We'd have to give up a guy closer to a couple guys actually. Brown, Hyman, maybe we'd probably have to give up both, or one or two or both. Give up some more draft picks. We already did give up a draft pick this year. Now we don't even have a 6th. So maybe, I don't know. You guys let me know what to do. The poll is, do we trade for veterans or do we ride it out? I know that was the same as the last one, but who was your favorite veteran? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know if we should go big or go small at the trade deadline, but I do want to make a trade, so big or small at the trade deadline. Check it out. It could be in the comments. It could be popping up right now. I don't know, but there we go, boys. That is all the time after this one. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.